Back.
Thank you.
Thank you. Chair recognizes Mr. Balderson for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Secretary. Thank you for being here. I was actually on the same flight to Columbus on Friday night with you, so it's good to see you going through the airport and getting on the plane, so thank you. I was a strong supporter of the Drive Safe Act, and I was proud to offer this bill as an amendment when the committee marked up Chairman DeFazio's infrastructure bill last year. This program creates a pathway for CDL holders between the ages of 18 to 20 to participate in interstate commerce after completing substantial safety training. And while I had major concerns with the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, I was happy to see this important pilot program included in the final bill. Can you discuss the current status of the Drafe's Driver Apprentice Pilot Program?
Well, I want to recognize your work on this and recognize also that it happens in the broader context of needing to make sure that we have the strongest and best possible workforce in truck driving. It has been estimated that the gap is as high as 80,000, although I think it's closed to some extent. And so the question that this pilot program speaks to, of course, is there a way to engage younger drivers without any kind of detriment to safety? And I think the pilot program has provided us with a responsible way to determine that. In January of this year, FMCSA announced the establishment of the program in the Federal Register. So that was the first step, really, to get the details out about the pilot. And they're now completing some of the other administrative tasks they'll need just because it's a new program. But I do believe we will be able to begin to accept applications into this program by the end of summer of this year. And then we'll be watching closely, of course, to see how it unfolds and to ultimately gather the data that'll tell us what, if any, safety impact there is.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate that answer. Mr. Secretary, last month I sent you a bipartisan letter signed by 67 of my colleagues regarding several issues facing motor fuel carriers and those transporting hazardous materials. One of these issues is the costly background check, redundancies within the Transportation Worker Identification Credential, hazardous waste endorsement, and the TSA pre-check programs. I've heard from drivers across industries that streamlining or harmonizing these credentials, which largely require the same information, would go a long way in reducing costs and unnecessary burdens on drivers. I understand this issue is under TSA's jurisdiction, but since you're the co-chair of the Supply Chain Disruption Task Force and you're the primary regulator of the trucking industry as Secretary of Transportation, I'm curious if you have any thoughts on this matter or if you've heard anything from TSA or DHS on efforts to reduce these redundancies.
Well, I don't want to preempt the process of replying to your letter just because we do want to make sure we coordinate with DHS on that given TSA's role. But let me affirm the general principle that whenever the government's gathering information from the same person twice, we have an opportunity. And provided we can find ways to meet this concern that don't have any adverse effect on safety and security, we're very open to examining what we can do.
Okay, thank you very much. And anytime you're in Columbus, Ohio, again, let me know. I'll get a nice dinner arrangement for you. So thank you, sir. And Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Thank you so much. The chair recognizes Representative Carbajal for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Secretary Buttigieg, welcome. I commend you and the Biden administration for your leadership in helping us to advance the historic bipartisan infrastructure